Thank you, the organizers, and thank you for inviting me to this very the amazing work they do in the university. So it's quite encouraging and inspiring to hear that how other universities are dealing with this crisis situation. For NUS, excuse me, or for Singapore, we are quite fortunate. It's a small country, and due to the efforts of government, we controlled it quite well actually. So from earlier this month, we are partially open the country and in the university, and although we are told that the default mode of teaching for the entire next semester, which we start in August, will be online. So like Crystal said, we will be going to face in 2021 only. So that's quite interesting because we have to change our mode. We have to change our teaching style. We have to change our modules as well, because a lot of things then students can go out and do field work and everything is not going to happen because we still don't allow large gatherings. So my presentation is slightly different from the previous two speakers, Neil and Crystal, is because we unfortunately or fortunately we don't have a full master's program on cultural heritage management yet. But this year was quite remarkable because during the pandemic, I call this as a fated opportunity that we could get in March, when the pandemic was at its peak, we could get a UNESCO chair on architectural heritage management in Asia, which is fantastic. So we have a UNESCO chair now, which is my head of the department. And then just last month, our university senate approved our a new master's program in architectural conservation. So these two things happened very quickly, and so we are very busy now to start our new master's program in heritage management from January onwards. So what I'm going to talk today is basically what we have been doing, which is not purely conservation or heritage management, but conservation as the ICH or heritage as part of a bigger architecture course, because we run this as part of the Department of Architecture, and we also run small electives and professional courses. So what I'm going to share is my I'll share my screen first, and yeah. So yeah, so what I'm going to talk about, I mean, broadly, is my presentation is divided into three parts. The first is pre-COVID, as I call it, is when we were doing all these field schools, courses, hands-on, and things like that. Fortunately, as part of these the summer schools and the field schools or electives, what we used to have, we used to have a very important part of these field schools as a documentary film and narratives technique. So what we did is we have a very good collection of all these material already with us, and we have been using it during the COVID situation for the last 3 months. And also we plan to organize and curate these documentary films and short videos for our master's programs as well. So because, as the previous speaker said, that digital is going to be the new normal. So and I quite agree with both speakers that digital cannot be this only way of going with the community and the ICH, but we are trying that how to reach a balance. So what I'm going to talk today is documentary film and narrative techniques, which we have used in the previous field schools and also in different courses, and we managed to record them, and how we are using it now in the situation, and how do we plan to use it in future as well. So as you can see, ICH, and this is a bigger picture of how ICH is involved in various subjects, and The ones which are highlighted in red, architecture and cultural heritage management, is what we teach in Department of Architecture and NUS in my university, and we 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 understand that ICH is very, very important for these two. Although, like I said, we never had a master's program or undergraduate program in heritage management, but we understand and that it is quite important ICH. So we made sure that our students at different times of their undergraduate and postgraduate studies are exposed to this ICH element in their architecture and heritage management electives. Okay, so it's just this is our philosophy basically in our department, is embedding the ICH elements into architecture design curriculum. It's like I said, we appreciate and we understand that architecture is not just about buildings. It's about people. It's about cultures. So how do we embed these ICH elements? That's what we've been doing for last several years. And like I said, field school was very important part of this immersion program, because then we can take our students to different part of ASEAN nations, and we've been doing this since 2005, working with the local universities and working on a real issues with the real communities on a real problems, and trying to learn together with the local universities, local students, Singapore, and other students. So we have been doing this for last until 2019 was the last one, and this was this year we have to stop it because we couldn't do it. But next year we plan to do it in July again, and this is again a ASEAN level joint school. So the second part is like I said, students go to a country, and I'll explain it later. How do we do it? And then we spend 3 weeks or sometimes 4 weeks there, and so it's a very intensive course. Around 20 to 30 students work in group, work with the communities, and try to understand together with the communities, explore the intrinsic, multi-layered indigenous life of the historic places and the culture. So that's part of their understanding that architecture is not just about buildings. It's so for some it is kind of a shock that why I'm working with this the small community, and I don't see anything heritage here. But it's quite fortunate that within 3 weeks they kind of appreciate that it's quite important to understand whether they work as a conservation architect or not. That's another thing. But this appreciation of local heritage is quite important. And we do this using the inquiry-based learning techniques. We encourage the students to understand the process of community engagement and to manage the local heritage in the broader historic environment. So it's a guided inquiry-based learning. So we just guide them. The tutors, different tutors, act as a facilitators and let the students learn from each other, learn from the community. So it's a very interesting exercise, and we and the other students have got the feedback. It's quite enjoyable as well. So this is what we do. This is just a snapshot of one. I think this was in 2016 in Songkhla, southern part of Thailand. There were students from 5 or 6 different universities, from Malaysia, of course from Singapore, and a few from Thailand as well. And the students were working for 2 weeks in Songkhla, and then they came back to Singapore, and then they finished their work, and then we have exhibitions in Malacca and in the community as well. So Songkhla is a small port town, and we were working in the old town area, and the students were given a sort of a kind of a open brief, and with the help of different community participants and other tutors, they were immersed in different learning activities, and at the end of it, we had films, short documentary films from each group about what they thought about the significant in that particular community. We had an inventory of the buildings and the cultural, the businesses happened in that small old town, and we also have architectural drawings. We did measure drawings and models and everything, which was then presented to the community. And so it was a very interesting experience, because we were outside the classroom. And I understand, means we all appreciate that we can't do this sort of thing now with the travel restrictions and everything. But what I'm talking is how we are using these inventories and films. I will show how we are using it now when we can't actually go there. And as Crystal said, we can't actually. I agree with her fully that we can't actually go to a new community. We have to know the community beforehand. So this is how we are fortunate that we have made a very intensive and complex network of universities and communities around Asia, the ASEAN region. And so we are very fortunate that if you want to talk to someone, we have someone to talk and do a Zoom session or something, and talk about the issues. So that's our strength for the last 15 years running this program. This was another one, which was the last year, 2018. It was in Yogyakarta, in Kauman. And yeah, the same thing. It's University of Malaya, NUS, and local Yogyakarta University students, UII mainly. And so Kauman is a small community famous for batik and food, local food. So it's a very close knit community. Students were there. We were working right in the center, and we were working, we were talking, and it was an eye opener for students that how these small communities survive. They learned a lot, and then they come back and they use it in their design. And fortunately, some of them even go and do a master's other than NUS, and work as a conservation professional. I mean, this is a part of our teaching and learning as well. The students have to themselves have to develop a website. And so these are the three websites on the screen, where you can go and see the students' work from day one till the last day, which can be 18th day or 20th day or 24th day. So 24 days or 18 to 23 weeks to 4 weeks, they document everything what they do. So that's again a very interesting and quite important um, sort of a collection for us to have all these years, at least for the last 3 years. I've been doing this together with the films and other things, that they have to come up with a full documentation of each day what they have. Very short blogs, so they write their own blogs, and which currently I'm using for different online programs. I'm going to show you quickly a video, which is a long video, I'll show you some snippets of a video done in Ban Panthom, which is a community in Bangkok, old community near the canal. And this community was famous for, as you can see, canal and the temples, and also for the silversmith. And the students were involved with the silversmith community and documented them. And so why it is important for the community to understand that, how these people survive, and how some of these traditional craftsmanship has been lost. So this is the same video, and at one end the old lady is talking about how it has been lost, the crafts. But across the road there is another shop, a craft shop, which has taken and doing it in a traditional way, but they are doing modern. They are not making the traditional crafts, but they are using the skills, the old skills, but they are doing something contemporary. And this is done by a group of students from Thai who are translating it in English, and then the students. So it was a very good exercise. Right. So these are the collections we have. I mean, this is just one part of. We have, like I said, for 15 years we've been running this. So we have a good collection of very interesting videos which we have been using now, and we plan to use it in our future programs. And not just the videos, like I said, there are blogs, there are publications. So every time we complete a field school, we have a publication, and that's again a very important one, because these again is a very tangible record of what we have done. So we are again using it as part of our current teaching practices and learning practices. So like I said earlier, although we don't have a full-fledged program of conservation and heritage management, but we do, for the last few years we've been running short courses for professionals, and then again this was a lime plastering course, and was done in our research center in Baba House, which is a historic building. So we were learning about the traditional building skills and the materials, how lime works on or as a plaster, and why we have to use it. It was a 3 days exercise for professionals as well as the students. Again, we were fortunate that we recorded it, and by doing this, again, this became our, because we are not again allowed to do this sort of thing for due to the current crisis situation. But we managed to use these videos as part of our training programs now. Um, this happened in with the help of UNESCO and Korea Funds and Trust. Last year, we were talking about collaborations, and I've been working with AHM and UNESCO for some time now, on developing this collaboration, because as we have seen that if certain this sort of crisis situation happens, we actually cannot just rely on one department or one university. Excuse me. So this collaboration, like I said, is quite important, and we were fortunate that we already started this collaboration thing last year within 16 universities in Asia. How we can share our knowledge and learn from each other, which I feel that it's quite important in this sort of situation. So this is what we have been doing for the last 3 months. This program, which we call as executive program, we have done two programs in February and March, which was a sort of a hybrid. So it was in the class, and you can see the people are social distancing and everything is and also online. And there were 31 participants from 6 different countries, which was quite successful. And so we tested this, and like I said, in these programs, we do online lectures, but we also use our already collected the collection of our videos and the blogs and information what we have to share here, because we can't do field trips and things like that. So that becomes quite handy at this situation. This is what we have been doing. We are enhancing our current collection of videos. We are making more videos, and I can show you one very quick, and this is the last one, and we plan to do this in future as well. have more recording of our work so that we can share it, and also we can collaboration is the key here for NUS, for Department of Architecture. We've been collaborating with Professor Dongwei is Southeast University, mainly with architecture schools. How we can collaborate and share their knowledge and their experiences, and use them in the crisis situation. I'll just very quickly go through this, and this is the last slide. This is the lime plaster course we did, and how we recorded it, and how we are using it. This is the NUS Research Center of old houses like Baba House. It's very important that the materials we use to repair and conserve allows the movement of moisture, and that's where the lime plaster comes. It's a porous material. It allows buildings to breathe. This is the most important place, I would say, in entire Singapore, where we can learn about the traditional building materials, and also about the traditional building skills, the craft skills, and also learn about the spirit of the place and how people used to live here. See, for me, conservation of buildings is not just about buildings itself. It's about the people as well. So what we are trying to do here is to repair and conserve the house for the future generations to use it in a way that is compatible with the spirit of the house. So yeah, that's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you.